Hi, welcome back to another segment, Patricia Stuart Originals. And I would like to share some easy tips. There are a variety of things that we could use to bring texture to our gel prints. And these are wine corks, and I have carved using a sharp tool or razor, carefully of course, and I've carved markings on the top, and these are the rubber corks. I have different carvings that I did on the top of them, carving out shapes and different things. And I use them as rubber stamps once I put the paint onto the gel plate. And these can make some interesting markings for you. Also, on the same corks, I've used buttons. I had a collection of old buttons in a bag for a very long time, and I took out the ones that had interesting engravings on them. If they had a raised head, then I knew that they would be good for stamping on the gel plate. And I just hot glued them to the top of these wine corks. These are like very old-fashioned buttons, of course, and so it's good to save your buttons, and the ones especially that has grooves in them and cuts in them make for some interesting prints. The other things you could use, if you get an insert from a paper towel, and this happens to be a very hard one, anything that you purchased that had this insert in it, and these make for circles on your gel prints. Now this is an egg crate torn in half, where your eggs, we buy eggs from the store, and the bottoms can make for nice imprints. The top didn't work too well for me, but I found the bottoms. It gives you markings, right? You could also, these are from bottles of vitamins and tops from other items, and these are good just if you want to make circles, and the tops you may have different sizes, and it's good to save a few, and you can use them to make circular imprints on the gel plate. There's also, I have a box of things that I have made. For instance, I get a lot of deliveries, box deliveries, be it Amazon or anywhere else, and I've taken hot glue, and with the hot glue I've just put random shapes on it, and these also can be used to make imprints on the gel plate. And here's another one, just random designs. I cut up pieces of boxes that I had lying around. Apply your glue to make any shapes. You can do flowers, you can do all kinds of shapes with the glue gun, and it makes for nice imprints on the gel plate. Now I made these recently, but I haven't used them yet. I had a bunch of sticky back letters for when I did art journaling, and I had some left over, and so also on the back of a torn cardboard box, put these shapes. I'm going to try some of those today. Also had some with numbers, and then I had leftover ones. I just glued them randomly down, and these make nice imprints. Then I've had these foam, sheets of foam. You can get them on Amazon. They come in different color sheets, and I've cut out different shapes and things like that. And I had a batch that I've done a couple of years back, and so I made some more recently, and they make for nice shapes. You hot glue them onto the back of cardboard, cutting out a variety of different shapes. If you don't have stencils, you don't have to worry about that. Sometimes stencils can be a bit costly. As you see, I make a lot of my own, even though I've purchased some in the past. But I like to do my own unique shapes and ideas of things. And so it's fun to see how they come out. You can layer them on top of each other, and you see how they come out on the gel plate. It's also hot glued the circles of the foam, and then here are some larger circles that I've done if I'm using a larger plate. The other thing you could use is bubble wrap. Here's a small bubble wrap with your paint on the gel plate. You turn it down to the raised side and just pat it a little, and it leaves the imprint onto the gel plate. Then you have your super big bubble wrap, and that works just as well. So I'm going to try these out so that you can get an idea of what they look like, and it's very easy for you to be able to make yourself. Okay, so I've spread some turquoise, this is true turquoise, yes, onto the plate, and I'm going to start by putting some of these button marks. And you don't want to use too much paint so that you can get the imprint to come out. And I have a little cloth in my hand, and I wipe it off because inside the grooves is paint. Okay. Try another button. Trying this raised one. Seems to work well. You get the hang of it after you get used to using them on the gel plate. to try some of these other ones that don't have buttons from the cork that I carved. So that you can see how well these types of homemade stamps can be. Okay, I think my paint is kind of drying on me. So I can add perhaps another color lightly on top and pull the print. I really like how these came out. So the thinner the paint seems to give a little bit more clarity. Okay, so I'm going to pull these using a little cadmium yellow. Should be dry enough. And I'm just using computer paper. Okay. So here it is. You have the buttons, the different design from the buttons, as well as the cork, the ones that I carved out. Those came out very well. Like I said, the thinner layer of paint, the more pronounced they are. Okay, so let's try this egg carton and see what that looks like. So I will spread a little orange, pyro orange. And with the gel plate, you don't really need a lot of paint. I use the golden fluid because they're thinner. If you have thicker paint, that's fine. Use it sparingly. press down into it. It makes its own type of markings. I'm just going to pull that while the paint is still wet. And there you see it makes those circular markings. Now I can go in again, let's see, using use some ultramarine violet. This is pretty translucent. So it wouldn't be very thick. Let's see if we can, using the egg crepe again, I'm going to turn it sideways, different direction. Using the same sheet. See if that adds. It's very light, but it adds texture. Okay. Okay, the next one I will go in with is this one here with the glue gun. Let's see if those work well for us. I'll use a little cadmium red. Now just a tip on the gel plate, when you roll the brayer towards you, it's applying more paint. When you roll it back up the other way, it's removing paint. Like if you had too much paint and want to move it, you roll it away from you, it will pull up some paint for you. So I will lay this down, pressing it into the plate. And with the glue gun, you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. How you layer the glue on. It's still pretty wet. there we have some nice circles going on. Yeah, very nice circles. And that's what that looks like. Okay. Let's see if we can. Guess it's pretty dry. Okay, so let's try. I'm going to try 2 on the same plate. Going to use manganese blue. I'll use that one color for the top. I'll use a little white if I can. Sort of mix it. Like a light blue. And so go in with this impression. And I will go in with this one. Well, it pulled up a lot of the ghost print, but you have this one running across the top, and you have like the tic-tac. So you got the ghost print of the circles underneath, but that adds a nice texture as well. You can even go over your ghost prints using things like this, so you get the multiple designs. Okay, let's try this one. It looks like a maze. I'll use some quinacridone nickel. I'll use another color. This is what happens when you have too much paint. You don't know which one to choose. Okay. So I'm going to go in using this, and then I'm going to try these numbers at the bottom. Okay. See what we can get from that. pretty good. So we got the maze, and here we got the numbers. So the numbers worked very well. I think I'll be using those more. Okay, so I will try these letters. Use some chromium oxide green. I don't use this color too often. And I'll use some yellow ochre. Okay, so I'm going to use these letters, some big chunky letters, and then I have the thinner frame letters. Okay, let's nice. So here we have it. The different types of letters. The chunky and the thinner ones worked beautifully. They work very well. Okay. I have box loads of all of these things, and even some other ones that I've used in my artwork. Just want to move some things out of the way. Okay, I want to try these circles. So let's try some teal. And a little ultramarine blue. And I know this is a little bigger than my plate. 1/2. And these I have not tried before. The other half. And I can tell already that they make a very nice imprint. Those circles work very well together. Now if I wanted to go in again with another color, maybe what we'll try is to go in on top of the same print with a different color using those. And what color will that be? Maybe I'll use a little, this is Liquitex paints. Try a little bit. The green and a little bit of this cadmium yellow. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to put this print on top. Hopefully we'll be able to see it on top of the big circle. Oh well. Very little. Didn't really. I think the colors that I chose has something to do with that, so I'm going to try it one more time, and I'm going to go in just using titanium white. Let's see if we can see the circles in the white on top of those colors. And I have the circles kind of doubled up so that I can get that height on them. I get more of an impression. Let's see. Okay, so we do get the circles, but the bigger circles are behind. And as you know, I can continue to layer that. So let's try this. And I'm kind of tempted to take the same print circles and go over them. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use some Payne's Gray and go over the circles we just did. And this is where you can have fun with these things, because you can take them, if it doesn't come out as pronounced as you want it. You can go back and do it again. So I have this one. I'm going to do this one lengthwise. Again here. And I'm going to take the same print and let's see. And there you can see the squares, even though our circles are gone, but we can come back in a little later, which is what I think I will do with the circles. And this one, we have, so I'll go in with, let's see, primary magenta. And add, I'll add a little orange. See, and the more I do this, the more I want to try layering them. Got this one going across the top. Again here. A fresh sheet. And go in, and that's nice. That is pretty cool. I like those. So we see that that worked well. Now we have these. We'll go in with some Viridian green. At the top. Wow. So a little lavender. The bottom. These are demonstrations. The color use doesn't really matter as much. And so you may want to get some foam sheets, some wine corks, and tear up some boxes and some with your glue gun and make your own mask type plates. This as well, so we see that this prints well. We have this one here. Use a little raw sienna. And little manganese blue. As I said, you don't want to go in using a lot of paint. You want it to be a thin layer of paint. It makes for a better imprint. If there's too much paint, when you make your impression, it's going to slide around. It's going to be kind of gloopy and gloppy on the gel plate, and you won't really get a clear hole. Normally I start my gel pulls with a solid color, but I'm trying to demonstrate how these impressions work. So the foam seems to work well. Then I have this one here, and we will go in. Let's see. It's a little green gold. And an aquadone nickel. Now you see the back of this corrugated board. You can also use that to make an imprint. And I will show you that as well. And the more you make your own impression stamps, the more you'll want to make them. Now this came out well. Now, well, I said the corrugated, so let's use your teal so I can show you what that looks like, the impression that can a little cadmium yellow. This part. And how you get that is just ripping the top layer of your box, the top layers. You rip it off, you have the corrugated. It'll show you all of the lines. And that makes for excellent print as well. You just tear the top piece of the board, grab a corner, pull it, and you'll see that underneath. And how nice is that? Just from the box. And with what I would do with that, I would just use different colors and turn it the opposite way and just keep layering it. Now we have the bubble wrap. Use some Indian hue. See what impression, and some ultramarine violet, and see what impression that makes. Here's the small bubble wrap. Press it in, remove it. Let's see. That adds a nice texture as well. And we always get things with bubble wrap in it, so you may want to hold on to the bubble wrap. Let's try the larger bubble wrap. And let's see. Use some manganese blue for that. And some cadmium red. And just lay it down. These are very large bubbles. Press in. Let's see. How that does. I can even get the paint that's on the back of the bubbles. That's pretty cool. And so here it is. That's the impression you'll get from that. And even if you took the back of the excess paint, it looks like that as its own ghost print. So those are the different impressions you can make, the things that you find around the house or things you collect. And one I forgot, that I had this Tupperware. It's a cake decorator. I've never used it for that. Let's see. I'd like to show you what that kind of looks like. And I'm going to mix a little white. And that's going to give me like nice, maybe fuchsia. And so this has two sides. You can great. And then the other side has a different shaped edge. So you can use so many different things to make your impressions without the use of stencils. And that's what you have with that. And this can be, let me try one more thing. Try a little cadmium yellow. You can even have fun going back over this. So many different things with something like that, and pull it on the same print again, go right back over it. And how cool is that? That's pretty interesting. So I hope that you have seen some of the many ways. I did a lot today. Right? We've had this bubble wrap, the large bubble wrap, the smaller bubble wrap, corrugated board. This was the foam stamp. These were all the foam stamps. The square, the small square foam stamps. The larger square. We did have circles underneath here at one point. Here are the letters. Here is the glue done in a maze, hot glue, and the numbers. And here we have the small glue gun circles, and we had the V-shape lines, the glue gun, the small circles, and you even see the tic-tac-toe box square one. Here's the glue, use of the glue gun with just circles. Here was the egg carton, the bottom of the egg carton. That was a nice texture. And here are the buttons that were glued to the cork, to the wine corks, and the wine corks that were carved at the top. So I hope that gets your creative juices flowing of things that you can make. And don't forget, if you're not using your cake decorator or items like that, you want to use them for gel printing. Thanks once again for all my subscribers. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and thanks for all that check in and keep up with my videos. I'm trying to keep, as I keep creating, finding things that I think would be appealing to you. Thanks again for stopping by.